back to today's lesson. Today I'm going to be talking about how users can place order, that is ordering for food, and we are going to make our app look more like our design and also refactor our code. So we've been writing for the past 3 weeks now, so we need to check our code, see where we need to move code around and make sure that it's readable and easy to understand. So let's jump into our app and see how things are going here. So I will just expand this. I hope you can see it clearly, and I'll try to sign up with a user, and I'll call this user what should I call him? Paul. I'm going to call him my name, and I'm going to call him Paulvin. And this email I'm going to just add just test at gmail.com 123 So you can see that we are using test1 at Gmail, and you know this email doesn't exist, and I don't, maybe if it exists I don't have access to it, and we would allow this user to use our app. So in our future videos I'll show you how to verify emails like this, making sure that user is a real user, that user has have an access to this particular email. So I'll just click on sign up. Just now click on sign up, and we'll wait for some time, and we are here in the home page, and you can see the foods. Here are the foods, and these are all the foods. And if you go to this profile, you just see test1 at gmail.com, and if you go to cart, you see that our cart is empty, and you can actually go to a food screen just like this, food detail, and see the details of that food, and you can just add that food to your cart, and you see it gets added here. You see that toast that came up, and you also see it here, the food, and you see the quantity of what you added. If you add it, you see it's 2, 3, you be seeing toast, and you can easily go to your cart from here and check, or you can easily go from here as well, and you can just confirm order. But before we confirm order, let's try to add more food to our cart. I'll just slide and add this to our cart. We have added this particular food to our cart, and you can see now we have made the calculation. 400 plus 50 is $450, and I'll try to confirm this order. You see it says confirm order, payment method. We will be doing cash for now. Maybe in the future we'll introduce credit cards and PayPal, and I'll just click on cash and click on confirm, and it's been placed, and it says thank you and Paulvin, this is my location. We're going to be adding address. We have not added that edit profile functionality yet, that users can add the address, and as well add phone numbers, and we'll calculate the distance of this address with the distance of a company, the company that is providing this service or providing the food. So we calculate that distance and show the distance between that, and show the kilometer it's going to take and the minutes it's going to take to bring this food to that user. And then we click continue complete, and it takes us back to the home page. So that's what I'm just going to show you how we have done that. And yeah, so I'll just bring this down, and we'll go to our lib folder. So before we do anything, I would like to show you how we structure our order, so you can see how things are working. So I'll just try to open Google Chrome. I'm going to open our project on Google Chrome, and this is our project. So this is the foods, all the food we have, just 4. We have orders, we have users, and yeah. So when a user actually add food to his cart, he add it to his subcategory. Let me see. Okay, here is a user. Okay, and here's a user that adds to his cart, and this is it. And let me add another. Here. This is 2. You can see that we have 2 items in our cart, and when we click on confirm and confirmation, you see it deletes everything in this cart and take it to the order. So if we go here now, you see the order here. So we have unique order ID. I've created that. I think it's one of here. I'll just try to do something like this. Created that and do descending to get the letters, and here it is. So here's the one we just placed. So in this orders collection, we have documents here, and the document contains this field which emulates how we want to structure a particular order object. So a particular order object must have a created at the time it was created by that user. The delivery method, it must contain an image URL like a cover image or something like that, so we can easily display that anywhere. Like we might get that from first order or last cart item, can get the image from there. And this is the order ID. Every order must have a unique order ID. This is what we are going to check when our carrier actually wants to deliver this food to a particular user. And here we have, I'll come back to this, we have payment reference. So we will introduce a new collection called transactions or payments, and each of the payments we make, we are going to create a document in that transaction or payment collection, and we are going to retrieve that ID and pass it in here. For now it is empty, and type payment types is cash, and shipping dates, we are just using random now. I'm going to talk about this later, but the shipping date here is about the time this particular food is going to come to that user. And the status is placed. We can have placed, receive, we can have processing, you can have delivered and completed, and total price of the food, UID of the user that placed the food. So if we search this here, we'll get the user that actually placed this food. We want to know that and updated that. Maybe we make any changes here in this particular document, we need to update this updated that, so we can know what time this document was updated. And here in this other items, it contains the items that a particular user ordered. So here you can see it's a list of map, and this map, each of this map contains these fields like category, cover image, created at, food ID, price, quantity, title, and updated at. So we might want to check the food ID. We can go to food, pass this, and we'll retrieve that particular food here. And you can see that it has image URL. We are going to update this. We need to add the image URL for these other items. Maybe we want to display it on our screen. We just display it immediately, and we have the updated ad and everything. You can see self-explanatory, like the price, 100 naira, quantity, and the rest. So we have emulated this to an object in our client-side code. So let's check that out and see how that is. So we have this order, and here are all the fields like the order ID, UID, image URL, created at, updated at, total, status, payment reference I just talked about, delivery methods, shipping dates, list of other items. And if we go to these other items, are exactly what is there, and we emulate that. When we get this from the saver, we pass this, we deserialize it to what we have, and we can use it as an object in our code. So let's go to the order repository and see how things are working here. And you can see here we just have this Firebase Firestore instance that is pointing at orders collection, and we also have the orders notifier. This orders notifier is going to hold our list of orders. So when we make an order, we are going to store it there, and all the order of a particular user is going to be stored here, so the users can retrieve it, maybe display it anywhere in our UI, so the user can visualize this. We will come up with new method like listening to order, fetching new order and stuff like that, but currently we just have a single method here, which is create order. And this method is a feature, and we are using the either to check for error, and we have this error handler and a bool. And for this we have two arguments here, like the UID, that's the current user UID, and the order object. So we are going to create the order objects in the checkout state, and we are going to go back there. We're going to create it. This is the order object, and we're going to create a bash. So we are we will have list of order items. So we need to delete that from the cart. We need to get that food ID and delete it from the cart, and push everything to our saver. So this is what is going to happen here. So we create a bash, and we get the order map from order. So we have to map, which actually gives us this. It gives us all of this, the UID, order ID. It gives us all of this from the to map here. This is just a map, and it gives us this order items mapping and giving us as a list. So if we go back here, see we have gotten that as a map, and here in this for loop here, we just do item in other items. So it's looped through the other items, adding to our bash this delete methods, and we point at the document, at this document. So we go into users, to the users ID, go into the users card, and point at this document. So this is what happens. We go to the users and go to a particular document, maybe this document, and we go to the carts and all the cart item in this, which this is a food ID. So if we copy this to food ID, you actually see the ID. So this is it, food ID. So we copy all of that, add it to the delete bash. So this add it to this bash, and we add a new bash here, set, and this set is going to create a new order document on the orders collection. So that's what is going to happen, and we commit this bash. So when we click on commit here, it just add everything at a blue and launch that, and we return right, which is true. That's how it works. I'll close this and go to our checkout. So we go back to checkout, and we go back to checkout state. So in our checkout state, we have this few things up here, which I'm going to come and explain that these are pages. And they are constant, like the cart page, the confirm order page, the complete order, and as well the payments method. I'm just defining them here for now. We'll take it to a better place in the future. And we have this 4 repositories we are getting using the locate method here. The locate. Now we also initialize the order repository in our get it. So remember to do that. And we have the cart items, which I've explained. The carts, things that I just added, those are the things I'm going to explain. And we just added the selected method. So when any of this is selected, we are going to update what is here. So the initial value of this is cash. So that's the initial value. And we have this current page. So if you click on complete, okay, I'll just need to disable that. So if this is a page view, so if we swipe to the next, it will be this page 1, and if we swipe to the first, it will be page 0, since we are counting from 0. And the next here is the total price, the total order price. We have it here, and we actually get the current user from here as well. So we go to the user repository, get the current user notifier value, making sure this is not null, because if the user is null, we want it to throw an error. So we want that. And we've talked about this, and here we are doing this on page change. So when this page changes, it updates the current page, the current page. So if this we go to complete, order complete, it's going to navigate to, it's going to turn to 1. So go to the cart, which is the first page, is going to be 0. So that's how it is. And the animate to page, we just passing a page here, which is an integer. It jumps to that page. Set payment, just set the whatever value to the selected payment methods. And here, before we talk about this place order, we are going to talk about this as well, initialize order. So when we are initializing order, we get the total payment and pass it to the total order price. That's what to do. And here too, where we have our order being initialized, we have the order ID code generator that generates code. So this is generating random numbers we have here. So this generates random codes using the random alphanumeric. So I've talked about this as well. So we are using this package called random string. So it will generate random alphanumeric digit for us to use, and we can just add a prefix here and pass in the random alphanumeric strings. And here we're just passing the current user UID, passing the first value of the cat item created that time, which is time now. We are just doing date.time now, milliseconds, epoch. That's what we are doing. And the total item, we just pass this total item here as well. We just update this manually, put it placed, and the status is placed, and delivery, home, payments selected, payments and shipping dates we just put now. We will update this in the future. And other items. So this is the interesting part. So here we are storing the cart items. So let's say you add an item here. Let me bring this up. You add an item here. This is a cart item. This is a cart item. So if you click on confirm like this, click on confirm, this gets called, and it maps it and creates an order item object, which it gets it from the cart item. This from dot map, it will map this. We pass in that and we are as well passing. So this is where we made that mistake, so I'm going to change it to image URL and save that. And passing the category, we just pass everything here and just do to list. This turns this to other items list. And when we are done with everything, we just clear cache. We'll clear cache cart. So we'll just clear everything, clear the cart, clear the cart items, set this to 0. That's what to do. Then for the place order here, we do just like the way we are doing, making sure that the user doesn't click or create this order twice, like click, just something like that, and this will be created twice. So we just check this if loading is false, and we check as well if this is set. We just set it to true, and making sure that we create that order and immediately set that to false. And when we set it to false, that's when the user can actually create a new order. Before it's even set to false, this is run. Before, when it's set to false, this gets run as well. We animate to complete, and we show this custom toast. So we added toasts, which we just go to popspec.yml. You see here we add Flutter toasts, and here you can see that we are using show custom toasts, and we created that ourselves, passing message, color, text color is error, and we just do Flutter toast and passing all of this, and we just immediately call it show custom toast. We add a message, show custom toast, we add a message. So if this is left, that means error, it's error handler. We just say fail to place order. So that's just it. And one more thing we need to talk about is so this is all for the state. The state is the main thing. So we have the checkout view. So this is a checkout view, and you click here, this is a checkout view. So here in the checkout view, we have this expanded, and we also have this notch bar. And this notch bar is what you are seeing here. We just created that in a separate file, call it notch bar. We might use it anywhere, maybe anywhere else. And here we have this expanded here, and this expanded, we are passing page view as a child, and the page controller, we pass it here on page change. Whenever a page change, we get it because it returns an int. We get that. Physics, we make sure that this class is not it's not scrollable. So if we just comment this out, and you can see that we can scroll on this page like this. So we don't want that. We don't want users to be able to scroll through these pages. And here, we have talked about the cart view, but let's visit it and see how it is. And here in this cart view, you can see that we just the same thing. We just move the cart item list to a different file and folder. So just cart items. In the checkout, we have this component, call it cart items, and here is the cart item and everything. And so yeah, we see summary and everything. So if we just scroll like this, sorry, okay, we actually disabled that. So that's all. You can see this page, confirm order. You can check it out. Just don't want this tutorial to be longer. So it's just some UI stuff, and we will bring in the map as well. That could be maybe in the next upper video, because the next video is going to be about the admin panel. So that's going to be the next upper video, and yeah, we'll bring in map and see how we can do things around map. So the next thing we should talk about here, if you click on this food, like click on it to see the details, you see things changes. Like click on this bottom navigation bar changes to what you're seeing here, and if you add, you can see all of this. So let's talk about this. So I'll close this, I'll close all of this, and I'll just go to food details. That's what I called this particular screen. So I call it food details. Let's go to the state. The state is not much, just some few things here. This food detail state, that's what I call it, and it extends a base state. And here we have this cart repository here, and we have this this food variable and cart item, which are holding this food and as well holding this cart. So if you add here, we're actually getting this data from the cart item. So like the quantity is increasing here and also increasing here as well. And you can see that we are listening to cart. This is it, and we dispose it when we move out from the screen. And here's the listener. So we check if this food actually exists in our cart. So if it exists, we listen to that, else we set it to no. So if we just remove, you can see that is not this is set to no. The cart item here is set to no, and this would not display on our UI anymore. So I'll just open our food detail screen, and let's check around. So this is the food detail app bar, which is what you're seeing here. It just app bar and have some actions, which we are just showing right here. So if you see this, so if you add here, you can see that we are showing one here. So this is it for the actions of this app bar. You can see that we is a list. The actions are a list of widget, and we are adding this inkwell and have a builder. So here in this builder, you can see that we are using context.select, and we have the checkout state. We are listening to the checkout state and listening to just a particular variable in the checkout state, which is the list of cart items. So every other thing that rebuilds, maybe there are things that goes on in the cart, and the notifier listeners get called. This widget doesn't rebuild. So, but if the cart item get changed in any way, this widgets get rebuild. So if you click on this, you see that this will change, or we remove this. See, this changes. So how do we do that? If we go back to the checkout state here, you can see that we are this is what we are doing. So we always create new value for our carts. Like we just get all the values in the cart notifier from our cart repo and just add it, like add a new one here, so that we'll be able to listen for that. So we don't have excessive reviews in our app. So that's how we are doing it. And here we have this expanded widget we have the shout of single shout scroll view, which is what you're seeing, and we have this display food image. You can guess that right. This is the image. So if you go here in this image, you see everything. I don't have to talk about that. Just check it. Go check it by itself. And we have the cart actions. So here in this cart actions, let me talk a little about this one. So here we are checking, we are watching the food detail state. Watching the food detail state, and we are checking if the cart item is null, just return size box. That means there is no, we didn't give any height or anything, so it's going to be empty. But if this is not null, it will display all of this. So if I click here, that means it's not null, and will show display all of this. This is just two inkwells with icons, and we have this add to cart from overview state. So if we go to that add to cart, you see that we have updated this as well. So we have updated adding. If this is adding, we show added one quantity of the food title to cart. So if you click here, see that added one quantity, added one quantity, remove one quantity. So we do that for add to cart, we do that add to favorite, we do that for remove cart item. So we do all of that. It's just a simple change. You can check it out. We have talked about the overview state before. Go back here in the cart actions. We should be done with that. Yeah, and here I'll just go back here. We have the food detail, and these are the food details. You just put in widgets here. So we just structure the widgets with column and rows to make sure it's look nice, just like our design. And you can see everything is finished here. We don't have this. We don't have this. So how do we have this? So this is how we get this. This is how we get this. And I'll just take it first. I'll take it to the services. Services navigation service. So in our navigation service, we have this navigation bar type, and in this navigation bar type is an enum, and we have the tab navigator. We also have the cart. So if it's tab navigator, it will show this tab navigator. If it's a cart, it will show that cart. And here we just create it as a variable. Here show navigation bar, and this is a notify value listener. So we want to listen for it. And here whenever we set the set navigation bar, we as well set this too. So we have a default of tab navigator. So but if we pass in here cart, it will just update the show navigation bar type to update that. And we are, so let me show you this. So in our tab navigation observer, in our tab, the observer that is observing our navigations entirely. So in our did push, whenever we push to a new page, we check if that new page we are pushing from using the route settings name, check if it is food detail path. So if it is food detail path, we set the cart navigation type to cart, else we set it to tab navigator. So when this is called, I just talked about this, the navigation in the navigation service. So that's how we do it, and that's the first. And the second is in our wrapper here. So the wrapper we have around our app, we are going to change this entirely in the future to a very solid navigation, a very solid nested navigation. But let's keep using this to make our project really simple. And here you can see that we have this value notifier. This is for show navigation bar. If it is true, we show our navigation, else we just show this. And we also have this another listener here that is for the show navigation bar type. So if the type is cart is cat, we show the cat bottom navigation bar, else we show the app the normal app navigation bar, which is what it is. So if I go to that, I just change and make them separate classes so we can easily make changes to them whenever we want. So that this is how it is, and for the cat navigation bar, this is how it is as well. So here we have this in our build methods. Here we just have this read here for overview, making sure this is read, this is an overview state. You don't need to wash on, you don't have to wash overview state on component like this. You don't want to maybe overview state changes in the future, maybe there is any changes in the overview states like calling the notifier listeners. You don't have to wash that because everything will just rebuild, and that's why we are using the read here. And here we have this cat, and we're using the select, listening to just this single variable, which is the list of cat item, and we're also doing that for cat items here too. This, and we just have this container and everything here. We have this list, so if we click here and go here, you see that this is added, and if you remove that, see this is removed because it's a list. And you also have this Foda button. We add this outline type, so if we set this to true, it will be an outline button, but if it is false, it will be just a normal Foda button. So let's just set that, and here we just open cat view. So in our open cat view, you can see that we just have this show snap model sheet, this bottom sheet. I've explained it before in a previous lesson, and we just do this size box, the height of what we want. So this is the height of what we want. We want to still be seeing all of this, this, and also see this as well. And we just call the checkout view, which I just explained to you people. So I think that is all we did. That's all we did. We just move for the refactoring. We move the notch bar here. We move the cat navigation bar here. We move the app navigation bar to the component in the root lib folder. And yeah, I think that's all we did, and this is the result we have. This is amazing. So our next video is going to be about viewing all our users order in our admin app. So that will be our next video, and that will be next week. So I'm happy that you're here, you're watching this right now. I hope to see you next week to do that, the web part of our project, which is the admin panel. So thanks, and see you at the top. Bye. If you're not a subscriber, click that subscribe button